Good evening. You know, it's very challenging to stand in front of you because I do see some formal students of mine, some current, and even a couple of students or one from my school where I'm teaching and also being a principal. And I was introduced very nicely, and when I was listening to Kirill's speech, I thought, okay, probably we're going to talk about the same, but a bit different. Usually in TED Talks, we are told that you need to say at the beginning what is the outcome of all the speech. So actually, I don't know what is the outcome. I know that you will find out why I'm so sparkling today. This is, I promising. But probably another thing of my aims is to help you think and to answer the question that is on the board. Unlearning versus learning. What is more important for success? I was already introduced, yeah? So, a young principal of one of the leading schools in Lithuania. Also, the program director at one of the best private universities here. I hold 5 master degrees from business to arts, and at the moment I'm a PhD candidate who is trying to answer one very important thing. Is it possible to unlearn leadership? I traveled a lot. I've been to more than 60 countries, and I've met so many people, famous, simple, easy. So probably the organizers thought that I'm a successful person and I should be standing here. Last year, or actually this year, I was awarded as the principal of a year in the capital city. You know, capital has the most of the schools, so probably I was the best principal in Lithuania. And you could applaud. And you know, many people are asking, how did he do that? What did he do? Maybe you also have some questions. Maybe you expect that I'm going to tell you how I got my success. This is me. That was more than 30 years ago. Yeah, you see, beautiful boy, blonde, with bright blue eyes, yeah? Probably you're thinking, what the hell is he thinking about? He thought a lot. I don't know where you come from and what your childhood was, but I wasn't living in a very successful family. I did not have a father. He left me and my mom when we were 1. Then somehow in that time, it was difficult for a woman to raise a child alone. Then my mom found a guy. She thought that it's a good one. Later, obviously, that was the worst choice of her. I got a brother. And we as a family felt in the trap. Then I started going to the school. And I thought, okay, I love this school. And maybe the school is going to be the place, my safe place. So it was half of safe and half of a total disaster. I was safe with my teachers, but with my peers, never. I could call myself, I was a black sheep. So when I was that age, I learned a couple of lessons. Lesson number 1, if I want somebody to love me, I have to be likable, I have to be perfect, and I have to do what they want. I have to stop feeling. And then, you know, things happened. I was the best student at my school. I entered the best university as my parents wanted and expected. But I was not happy. Thanks God, I got into psychology studies. And the first lectures were about they were telling all the problems and all the issues are coming from the childhood. Children usually have two things. They are helpless, somebody has to take care of them, and they are egocentric. Egocentric means that they don't understand that things that are happening in the environment are not about them. And that's how I met schemas. In social cognitive theory, we all have different kind of schemas. The schema is a special box that we see the world. We can be afraid of the world, as I was. We can feel that we are not loved. We can feel that we need to be perfect. We can feel that we are afraid of other people, and etc. And then the professors were telling, it's obvious, we can see that in the behavior. And I noticed myself, I was jealous of others. I was afraid of others. I was avoiding people. I was afraid of making decisions. I worked a lot and I criticized. And then they showed me the way how to do things differently. And I believe that I know how to do things differently. So I started being very hungry. And I ate the life. I started studying a lot, even much more. I started traveling. I started experiencing many, many, many things. I was creating totally different identity. Till one moment, I realized that learning new things is not that easy. It's not like you listen to somebody and then you do. I understood that learning, or better, unlearning very difficult things are coming with the trigger. And the trigger is something that is bringing you discomfort and confusion, and usually it brings you the trauma from the past. And I met my trauma from the past. I was perfect. I created so many things. I even was a dancer. I created different kind of dance troupes, till once I broke my back. And I still remember my doctor said, "You will never walk if you will move, during the weekend." So I had to stay calm. I was totally dependent on other people. And I was everywhere, very nice with other people, and only 2 people called me to ask how I am. And that was my pain. I felt unloved again. And then I started searching, what the hell should I do with that? So unlearning means a couple of things. We can synonymously use those. It could be connected to removing something that is not effective anymore, doing away with, getting rid of, releasing, abandoning. And it's a very, very difficult process. Yeah. So if you want to unlearn, first you have to face trauma, your own trauma, usually from somewhere where it's very, very deeply hidden. And then there are 3 rules that I found out later. Rule number 1, it's easy to recognize that something is not working. But the other 2, that's why they are in yellow, are connected to more difficult tasks. It's very difficult to see something different in the behavior, extremely difficult, because the schema is not letting us see a different world. That's why we have think outside of a box as a saying. And another is very difficult to apply, to ingrain a specific model. Yeah, because imagine you are changing a habit, a very simple habit. You are always being brought back. Yeah, so the same happens with the schema. You start to think differently, but again the pain is coming and bringing you back. So what I started doing, number 1, find the therapist. Yeah, if you have some inner issues and you cannot solve it yourself, find competent help. It can be anything, but I would advise schema therapy. Number 2, what I did, I started talking to myself. Yeah, probably you all have some evening thoughts before going to sleep about your beautiful life, yeah, about the challenges, how would you do different things differently. So I did the same. I did from my own perspective, and I was a bit crazy. I was going out, like playing with the dolls. One of the dolls was me. Yeah, so that's also one of the strategies. Imagination, very powerful. When you imagine yourself in different contexts acting differently, it is a new model coming to you. Yeah, you already mentally know what is happening. Operating in unfamiliar environments. What does it mean? It means go where the pain is. So I'm always visiting the places or doing something like that. You know, it's not very calming speaking in front of these bunch of people, but I always put myself in those unfamiliar situations and break my walls. Another thing, learn from the opposites. A very good thing. We don't like to do that, but I started to follow people whom I don't like, who are super successful, who are super happy, and I was learning what they are doing, why are they so happy. Changing the environment, it's similar to one of the previous, just change the place, similar, different, it helps mentally to see the differences. Reading extended situations, different cases are showing you how people react in similar situations. So it's always very useful. Later, when you imagine or you have metacognitive reflection, you can apply what you thought. And videos also work. Even Netflix or the TV series or some very, difficult movies. You see the roles there. You see the patterns. Maybe you can apply that. So, going to an end, the question probably for all of us, how do we define success? What is success? For me, some things. For you, maybe different. Another question, at school and everywhere we are taught that learning is good. But the question, is it always good? Do we always learn good things? And the question for yourself, why sometimes unlearning is better than learning? I hope my experience showed you the pluses and minuses. I promised you that I'm going to tell you why I'm sparkling today. When I'm performing interviews with other leaders and other school principals, what I've noticed that I'm not alone in this kind of a trap. Many leaders are facing similar things, similar issues. So I decided today to speak for myself and to speak for them, and also to speak for the future people who will also dare to say what they are feeling and how they are. I wanted to finish with a song. There is Rihanna's song. It's called Shine Bright Like a Diamond. If there is somebody who is feeling something similar what I did, please know you are perfect. You are enough. You don't need to do anything that somebody loves you. You are already loved. And the most important person in your life is you. Thank you, and have a nice journey in unlearning.